Hey there, everyone. Drew Goldfarb from DGPicks.com. Today, I want to go over what implied odds are because there are a few late games that I think it's really important that we look at what the money line converts to so we can figure out where some value is on these games. So I use the term implied odds quite a bit, and what that basically means is we're converting the odds that you see when you're looking at an American sports book anywhere, where it's plus 114, minus 134, and you're converting it to a percentage. The percentage being the amount of time that would have to hit in order for you to break even in the long run. So the easiest example is plus 100 means 50%. That means that if you hit exactly half the time, you will not make money, you will not lose money, you will break even. So that is the implied odds. I don't know why. It's the only thing in the US that we use that's based on 100, a factor of 100, and it's the only time it doesn't make any sense. But that's the way it goes. So if it's a minus number, it's obviously going to be below 50%, and if it is plus 100 or higher, the implied odds of that happening is going to be 50% or lower, because that is your underdog status. So when we're looking at a game like the San Diego Padres and the St. Louis Cardinals, San Diego is a minus 134 money line favorite. So if we do the quick conversion, you can just use a calculator that's available online. That is implied odds of 57.26%. That is the frequency that San Diego would have to pay out against St. Louis at those odds in order for you to break even in the long run. Now, the reason that's kind of interesting and where that's really useful when you're looking into how to bet on a game is because you can find computer simulations and analytics that will find just a general idea and give you a good idea of how frequently an outcome should happen. In this game, Yu Darvish, Miles Mikolas going head-to-head, the San Diego Padres, according to ESPN's analytics, should win this matchup just under 65% of the time, 64.9%. And with these calculators, you can actually go the opposite direction also. You can type in what the implied odds are, in this case 64.9%, and it will tell you what the fair odds would be. So in this case, San Diego should probably be right around minus 185. That would be fair, no juice odds. Juice being the little extra points that the sportsbook makes sure they keep. You don't get plus 100 on both sides of a moneyline toss-up, even though that is literally 50-50. You get something like minus 106, minus 110, which is a game later on that we'll talk about between the Yankees and the Diamondbacks. But here, Mikolas and Darvish head-to-head, the Padres should win this game almost 2/3 of the time, and yet the odds on San Diego says that they would only have to win 57% of the time for that to be a profitable play. When we're looking at a favorite on the road, that would be the Boston Red Sox going up against Oakland, minus 148, that Boston gets the win in this game. That converts to implied odds of 59.68%. So if we look at, again, sticking with ESPN Analytics, going to their simulations and what we've got from them, they have Boston winning this matchup only 55.3% of the time. So that means that there is about 4% worth of juice that you're paying the sportsbook to take this bet. On the other side of it, if we look at the Oakland Athletics, they're plus 126 underdogs. Those implied odds are 44.25%. ESPN Analytics say 44.7% of the time they should win this game. That means that there's actually positive expected value, plus EV, better than expected value, taking the A's to win in this game. So even though I look at this pitching matchup and I go, okay, Alex Wood only lasted 3 1/3 innings in his debut, 7 hits, only 3 strikeouts. Brian Bello had a 3.6 ERA, pitched 5 innings, pretty decent, not a lot of strikeouts. But if you're looking at it from a purely statistical standpoint, the value is on the Oakland side of things, because at plus 126, their implied odds are, you have a little bit of room between the implied odds of that wager and how frequently that wager should actually pay out based on computer simulations. You don't have to go 100% with the computer. That is just, and I certainly don't, that is just a good way of getting a ground idea, a baseline understanding of where there may or may not be value. Shane Bieber, Luis Castillo going head-to-head tonight in Seattle. That is the Guardians and the Mariners game. In this one, you've got Cleveland at plus 102, which is implied odds of 49.5%. ESPN Analytics say 46.4% of the time they should win this game, so there's some juice on that side of things. Seattle is minus 120, implied odds of 54.55%. ESPN's simulations, 53.6%. So this is a great example of a game where the odds are going to happen this way more often than they won't. There isn't a side that has plus EV. Both sides of this money line have a bit of that casino juice built into it where you're not getting the true value. If I was going to flip a coin and I gave you plus 100 odds on heads, plus 100 odds on tails, those would be fair odds that I'd be giving you. But if I'm a sports book and I'm trying to make money, making sure regardless of which side you pick, in the long run, I get a small cut, I'm going to give you minus 110 on both sides, where you're only going to get about $91 for every $100 that you wager. So in this case, the Mariners and the Guardians, neither of them have that true money line value. Now, you can still find value elsewhere. Shane Bieber, 11 strikeouts in 6 innings of work in his first time out. Luis Castillo had 5 Ks in 5 innings. Neither of them have given up a lot of hits. Well, Bieber did not give up a lot of hits. He had no runs against in 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk. Luis Castillo gave up 6 hits, 2 walks. You could look at a first 5 innings run line wager on Cleveland and take them plus a half run. I believe at last check that was right around the minus 150 mark. I'm going to find that tab really quick. It's even better now. On the money line, it's minus 102. On the run line for Cleveland, plus a half run. So they just have to be, what do you call that? The game could be tied or the Guardians could be leading after 5, pays at minus 152. Great way to bet on the pitching matchup. And if we look at the last game that's happening tonight, Yankees and Diamondbacks. This is the tightest money line of the late window. Minus 106 on the Yankees, minus 110 on Arizona. Basically a toss-up. ESPN says Arizona should win this game 57.2% of the time. So if you're looking at it from a statistical perspective, the implied odds of a minus 110 bet are 52.38%. So you've got about 4% in your favor taking Arizona. If they played this game 100 times, the way that these simulations go, with this exact lineup on this exact day in this exact position, the computer says that Arizona would win 57 out of 100. If you win this bet 57 times, taking Arizona at minus 110, if you win it 57 times out of 100, you will make a decent amount of money long term. It doesn't mean the D-backs will win tonight. Doesn't mean Nestor Cortez won't bounce back from his 5-hit, 5-strikeout, quite a bit of runs matchup that he had in his season debut. It doesn't mean Zach Gallen will get the win. It doesn't mean that the Yankees won't win by 20. It just means that based off of the analytics, the Diamondbacks should win this game enough over the course of 1,000,000 times that they would simulate it for this bet to make financial sense long term. So that is how you take a look. That is what implied odds are. That is what and how it applies to 4 games in a late window for Major League Baseball tonight. Make sure if you haven't signed up for your free trial of dgpicks.com that you do so. We'll be talking hockey and baseball all week long, giving you some picks, tips, analysis, insight. You can see my dog, Adelaide, making appearances whenever she feels like. She's dropped a tennis ball underneath the chair, basically from the moment I hit record on this video. So I'm going to go do that. Sign up at dgpicks.com for your free 7-day trial, and best of luck with your bets.